breaking news. Chelsea have been banned from signing players for 2 seasons. This is breaching the rules about signing minor players, young players, for the age of 16. So the Premier League club have been fined £460,000, with the FA being charged just under £400,000. And Chelsea have been given 90 days to rectify the situation, and they can also appeal the ban. So they were found guilty of 29 incidences, breaching Article 19 rather, which relates to signing players under the age of 18. So there was around a dozen players that were investigated over a 3-year investigation for Chelsea, and they have been found guilty. One of them was Bertrand Traoré, signed back in 2013. The Burkina Faso international now plays for Lyon. And this isn't just concerning players from abroad. This is concerning players everywhere, obviously 12 players. So he signed from France. And yeah, he was brought up. He was born in the Burkina Faso. He played for. He's played in France, and now he is at Lyon. So he's one of the players that they had an issue with. The ban applies to the club as a whole, with the exception of the women's team and the futsal teams. So that means the women's team aren't affected by this, obviously, because this isn't really their doing. But it does affect the men's team. So the men's team currently, they have a couple of loanees, one of which they can extend. Gonzalo Higuain can be extended for another season. There's no problem with that. They'll have Christian Pulisic coming in the summer. That will be fine, because that deal was done before this ban come in. Now, it would be interesting to see whether they knew this ban was coming, and that's why they signed Pulisic. Mateo Kovacic, who has been playing in midfield on loan from Real Madrid, his contract on loan at Stamford Bridge, that runs out at the end of the season, so he won't be there next season. And Eden Hazard is another question mark. There's been talk of him leaving. I'm not sure how long is left on his contract, but if they lost him, it would be a huge blow. They won't be able to improve the squad in any way. They are stuck with who they have now, and that is how it's going to be. So they won't be able to make any signings next season. In the summer and in the January transfer window of 2020, they won't be able to make any signings whatsoever. So it's going to be a really difficult for Chelsea in the next year or so, because they're not exactly cutting up trees at the minute. They're not really doing very well. They're struggling outside of the top 4, and they won't be able to improve their squad. They will have Pulisic coming in. They will lose Kovacic, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with Hazard. I think Hazard wants to leave Chelsea. That's my personal opinion. But this is not good news for Chelsea before the Carabao Cup final. Yeah, so a 3-year investigation, and it's not surprising. They're not the only club to have this happen. I remember Atletico Madrid had a very similar thing happen a few years ago as well. So Traoré signed before he had turned 18, and yeah, I think he was one of the. He basically, what happened with Traoré was he signed for Chelsea in 2014, but there was pictures of him playing for Chelsea when he was just 16, which is an issue in 2011. So they breached several rules of FIFA, and FIFA have fined them and the FA. Now the FA, not really sure how they come about with this and how they're involved, but it is quite concerning for Chelsea. I really do believe it is concerning for Chelsea, because they're going to potentially lose one of their best players in the summer and not be able to replace him with anyone. And when you lose one of your best players, you always need to replace him. You know, you'll have money in the bank, but you need to replace him. That's something they won't be able to do. Now, we had a very similar situation with Griezmann a couple of years ago. He wanted to leave, but because of the transfer ban, he didn't feel like it was necessary for him to leave, and he signed a new contract. I'm not sure how this will affect them on the pitch. I don't think it will affect them on the pitch at all, but it's not a very good situation for Sarri to have to deal with. It's going to be really difficult, and you know, if they were to sack Sarri, would Zidane want to come in with a a year transfer ban? I don't think so. I don't think he'd want to bring in his own players. He'd want to improve the squad as much as he could, and I don't think that is something that Zidane would want to put up with. So, at the end of the day, they can sack Maurizio Sarri if they want to, but he's still going to be stuck with whoever they bring in. If it's Lampard, Gianfranco Zola, and Zidane have all been linked, they will be stuck with a Conte mix of players alongside a few that were signed by Sarri, and there's just nothing they can do about that. They can sell off. But having said that, they do have a very good academy. The likes of Hudson-Odoi has come through in recent seasons and done very well. He needs a stepping stone to get into the first team regularly, and that is something that maybe somebody like Lampard can provide, who came through at local rivals West Ham and then went on to play for Chelsea. So it's something that is going to be difficult for them to sort of make any sort of improvements to the squad. They'll have to rely on the players they already have improving, or players from the youth team. Now, they have a lot of players in that youth team. They have 50, 60 players at least, and that is something that will give them a lot of positives. Every club wants to see players come through the academy. That's the whole point of having the academy. If you don't have players come through the academy, then there's no point having an academy. If you have an academy, you want players to come through the academy, so that's going to give them a really, really good chance. But thank you so much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know what you think of this story. It's not good news for Chelsea, but thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. But thank you so much for watching the video. My name is Mike, and I will see you soon.